Duotone images look awesome. It's a really handy effect to be able to add to images on a website. And the good news is they're really easy to do in Oxygen without needing to bring in any external CSS. You can do it straight there in the builder. If you're interested, I'm going to walk through not only how to do it, but how the concept works. So stick around because I'm about to jump in. Okay, so what we want to do here is set up some duotone images. I'm sure you know the effect, and I'm going to show you that you can do this directly to an image and also do this to a background image. There's probably different reasons why you want to use each one, and the process is a little bit different. So I will show these individually, and let's get stuck into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a div, and then inside that I'm going to add another div. I'll open up the structure. So you've got this wrapper and you've got this inside one. This inside one is where we're going to have the image, and this outside one is the wrapper itself. So this one here, because it's a background image, we're going to want to control the size with the div itself. So I'm going to go to size and spacing, set this to 100%, and set the height to, I don't know, view height of say 80, so it's nice and big. Here we can put in the background image as well, so we might as well do that now. Background image is going to be one of these, and we'll do a couple of things that you'll standardly do, which is set it to cover and make this so it's left 50% and top 50%, and now that's perfectly centered. Now the other thing we're going to want to do is go to this wrapper div, the actual parent div that wraps around it. And with duotone images, essentially you have like a lighter, brighter color and then a darker color. The dark replaces the black color, and the lighter color, the brighter color, is going to replace the highlights. Now what you want to do is make sure the lighter, brighter color that you pick is placed on the parent, so on this wrapper. So I'm going to pick like a lime green sort of punchy color here as for the highlights. And while I've got this selected as well, I'm gonna change this wrapper div so that the layout is relative, and that's because we're going to add a before to this, and we want the before to be absolute, and we want it to be contained within this div. So we want it relative to this div, so that's really important. We'll go back to this here. So we've got a color on this, on the wrapper. We'll go back to our image. I'm going to do a couple of things here to actually start this duotone process. So if we go to effects, we've got opacity here, and we can change this mix blend mode to multiply, and you'll see stuff happen straight away now. So you can see that that's picking up that green color that we used in the background, but it hasn't totally gotten rid of all of the colors, and that's because that's still a color image. It's not a two color image. So to make that like a two color image, you can go to filter, go to grayscale, and set this to 100%. And now that's just working as green for the highlights and black for the dark colors. If I quickly go to opacity here, and I change this back to normal or nothing, you'll see that this is now a grayscale image. And if we go to multiply, what's happening is the light colors, or the dark, is multiplying over the top, and then the white becomes these green highlights. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer on top of this that replaces the dark with our color that we want to use for our, instead of black. So we get this duotone happening. So we'll select the wrapper again. But what we're going to do now is add a before to this. So if we go before, and we're going to want to make this the same size as that image. So we'll go to advanced. Size and spacing will be 100% wide and 100% high. We're going to want to add a color to this. So we'll pick our background color of, let's go for a blue. And we're going to need this to be in the layout absolute, or else it's not going to pick up any of that position. So we'll go absolute, and now you can see that it's grabbing that color, but this before is actually underneath the image itself. So if we change the Z index, it'll take this up over the top of the image, and you'll start to see the duotone effect take place. As soon as we go into the effects and then we change this opacity, the mixed blend mode, to lighten. And then what that's going to do is replace the blacks with this blue. So you can see now we've got that duotone working. You might want to tweak these colors here, so I could make this a little bit darker, for example. And I could go to this, the parent here where the green is, and try and make that a little bit punchier, a little bit greener. There you go, that's looking good. I'm happy with that. If you use Photoshop or something to make your duotone images, you can literally get the same hex colors here and paste them in. But if you're just eyeballing it like what I've done, yeah, just play around like that. Okay, so we'll do the same process, but for an image itself. And it starts off very much the same. I'm going to go here and go add div, and then add a div. But then inside this div, we're going to add the image directly. So we'll pick a different image. And we'll repeat the same process. So in this here, we'll put in the wrapper, we'll put in a color. I'm going to put in, rather than a green, I'm going to put in, say, a more of a pinky reddy color, something like this. And then we'll do some of the same things. So on this here, on the image itself, select the image. You can apply some of this stuff. So for example, you can put on your effect, which is going to be the filter, which makes it a grayscale image. Grayscale 100%. And then we go back to the opacity, change this mix blend mode to multiply. We've got that part done, perfect. Now we go to this here, and I'm going to make sure I grab the same color actually. So if I'll go to the state and get this before, I'll grab this same color and we'll see how this matches up. And we've got a bit of a connection between those colors. Scroll down here so I can see what's going on. Again, I need to make this so it is positioned relative. Remember that step, position relative. And now we can go to our before, and we want to put in our background color on this background color. And we want to make sure the size and spacing is 100% and 100%. We also want to make sure that this is absolute and that the Z index is above it, above the image. And then again, we go into the effects. I'm going to change this opacity, mix blend mode to lighten. And there you go. We've got a couple of really punchy looking duotone images, and you really can just swap these images out. So if we wanted to change this image here for this one, you can see that effect still applies. Everything looks really great. So let's just change this one. This is the background image, for example. Change the background image, something like this. And this works with grayscale images as well. So all done. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something from that video and you can use that duotone effect on a future project. As always, if you enjoyed the video, click like, leave a comment, or also subscribe. I'll be posting more Oxygen-based videos and more website and web design related tutorials in the future.